Okay guys, I just wanted to record this quick video about leverage and position sizing. What's the difference? Because I'm seeing so many questions about, what's your leverage, which leverage you use. I use max this. Well, this is irrelevant really, and I'm gonna explain why. As you may see, as you may know already, our core concept is position sizing. So it depends. Let's say, for what is position sizing? Let's say you have 10k capital, right? And let's say you use 2% risk, just for the sake of this example. And let's go back to your trade. Let's say we take this trade. Let's say for some reason you take this trade here towards here, let's say, or here. All right, and let's say you set the trade up first, and let's say you use this, right, as a stop loss. So basically what this guy tells us is your stop is 9%, 9.77% away. So basically SL, so basically is 99.77% away, right? So what does it mean? This part means that since you have a 10k account, your maximum loss could not exceed 2%, which is $200, right? So then the question is, how much shall I risk? How much shall I use at this point, so when the stop hits, that my loss would be $200? Let's say it's 10%, right? Stop is 10% away. Then your position size should be $2,000, right? Then if your stop gets hit, you lose $200. This part is not so much important for now, for the sake of this example. So we made this 10%, right? Your risk was 2%, your capital was 10k. If your risk was 4% instead of that 2%, then you could use twice as much, right? Then you could have used 4k, because then for a 10k account 4% would be $400, and your position size could be 4k, right? And you lose $400. All right, so I hope this is clear for now. And let's see, in this long short tools, you can just put in your capital, right? 10k, your risk, which we said 2k, $2, 2%, and then entry exit is already here. Don't change anything in lot size and then ticks. So basically what this tells me now here is, if my stop gets hit, my loss, my total account would be 9,800, which means $200 loss, right, as my risk. In here it says, if I am correct on this trade, my total account would be $11,075. So $1,075 gains, right? Profit. And what does this say? My position sizing in the contract value. So if you multiply this by your entry, which is this, then you'll get your position size in dollar value. In dollar value. Right? So now let's come to this leverage thing. What does this mean for us? 74.349 times 27.54. So my position size is $2,054. Cannot exceed that, right? This is my size. So you can use this with 1x. You can use $1,027 with 2x. You can use almost $200 with 5x. You can use, this is margin. Or $102 with 10x. But you get the point. Or $50 with 20x. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Unless you're using isolated margin. Because yes, in this case, 5% loss, 5% downside will liquidate your position in an isolated margin. But in cross margin, whatever happens, you cannot lose more than $200, right? Because your stop is there. If you're using isolated margin, just put $200 because this was your risk, right? This was the money that you were okay to lose to make this much. So cancel out these if you don't want to add margin later on. You can use any of these. Or if you're using cross, just use whatever, just deal with your margin. That's the thing. Leverage is not for example, if you have 10k, it doesn't mean that you put all this 10k into the trade and do 20x, which will give you a position size of $200,000. And in this case, if the stop gets hit, you're gonna lose 20k, and you don't have that money, right? Your margin, your total capital is 10k. So what kind of bullshit is this? Leverage is not for you to leverage your capital. It's if you have like a $1 million somewhere, and if you don't want to move everything to exchange, you can move 100k to the exchange and use 10x leverage, which will bring you this size. So if something happens and the exchange gets hacked or something, you will still have 900k sitting at your wallet. Leverage, that's why leverage is not the main question. What's your position size? And that's not even a question. What's your risk may be a question. Because risk you can play with. You can, depending on your track record, you can up and down the risk. I don't suggest you doing that if you're just starting. Just keep a constant value, like 2%, 3%, 1%, whatever percent there is, and stick with it. because I see people starting with 1% risk and then take like 5 good trades, and they say, okay, I'm good now, I can do 4% risk or 5% risk, and then one loss will take away this, all these wins. Stick with it. Stick with whichever risk you started with. I hope this makes sense. Ask me if there is anything else that's not clear. All right? Cheers.